I'm sorry, Dave.
Hit the road, leave no witness. Send my darling screaming down Mulholland. My
You know what else I'm guessing is not easy to do is to shoot an independent picture in La La Land.
Yep.
What was that like?
Well, I'll have to pick one story, I guess. I mean, you know, there were the usual stories, you know. I mean, we shot for we shot 3 days first, and then the movie fell apart. And because, I mean, without mentioning names, one of our actors went on into rehab, and so the movie fell apart, and then we had to bring back, you know, producers and money and whatnot, and we ended up shooting again for 23 days.
Would you make sure you tell everybody that that wasn't me?
Of course, no, it wasn't Aaron. He's still drinking, and, you know, yeah. Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
So. Well, you know, I mean, first and foremost, it's like a love story, you know, and it's loosely based on how my partner and I met. But I also, you know, I mean, it's also what happens in a relationship. It's the reflective mode and transformative mode you get into when you're in a relationship, when you're forced to kind of dig into yourself in order to make it work, you know.
I'll always be
careful over hard.
Well, the first person that came on board this and my partner in crime kind of was Brett Roberts, and Brett Roberts was in the off hours. So Brett actually brought in Amy. Amy was the star of the off hours. And I was like, I'm looking at this photo, it's a Facebook photo, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is Frankie for sure. I've never met her in my life, never spoken to her. I don't know didn't know who she. Then I met her, she's amazing. I've seen her movies and the off hours and whatnot. And we ended up actually shooting a scene for the movie. There's a scene in the movie where she's sewing the exact same frame.
You never told me that you grew up here.
That's because we agreed to keep it in the present.
And you have the legendary Harry Dean Stanton in the picture, who's been in some of the best movies ever made.
Sure.
Hey, how'd you get him to agree to be in the movie?
We have a sort of a similar group to the group of filmmakers here in Seattle, in LA. Believe it or not, right? There is an underground, you know, scene. People are making movies for low budget and whatnot. And he has been friends with some of these people, and he has made cameos in some of these movies. So I was brought in on set on one of their movies that they were shooting by Brett, and he said, well, why don't you meet Harry Dean and see? And they took me to his regular hangout. He hangs out at Dantana since 1962. Every night he drinks there. He's 86 years old. And he said, okay, well, you could meet me there around 12. So that was our production meeting. I ended up meeting him around 1:30 in the morning. He was completely out of it. He talked to me about Kabbalah. You know, we sit on the bench.
I know what we're doing the next time I come to LA.
Right, going to Dantana. And then, you know, it was he didn't tell me, okay, I'm in your movie, but I knew it was, you know, he'll do it.
I get that spark.
So, you know, you have the usual stories of, you know, money and whatnot. On the 15th day, they told me, you know, we have to pay the crew tomorrow and we have no money in the bank, stuff like that. And, you know, but you also, you know, we thought, okay, we're making an indie, we'll pick our locations and we'll pick it farther. What's great about LA is that I wanted to show a different type of LA, speaking of which time period and whatnot. I wanted to show the East Side because we lived in the East Side. That's where we met. Anybody familiar with LA? It's a little bit removed from LA. You think it'd be easy to shoot until you meet Felix, which was the next door neighbor in Frankie's apartment. You know, and he sat there on the first day. Well, the people that owned the apartment, they were like, "Oh, cool, yeah, give us some money and get the apartment. We'll move for a week and you can do whatever you want." So, you know, we were polite, and then trouble came. You know, his wife saw Amy and Brett in a bathtub in the backyard. She decided we're shooting a porn film. They have kids. She was like, oh, all these perverts. They took us to court. So we were in a court case in the middle of making the film. Joy had to do the, you know, Joy and Gabrielle running around, distributing, you know, trying to sign all the neighbors to go against this guy. So we had this little war going on.
So this guy's married?
This guy.
Can you imagine what his personal life is like if they thought that was a porn film?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm on set.
Now you could have called me down from Seattle to handle Felix. for you.
Right.
You know, dangle him over the
Yeah, I
balcony
saw
with
that
his
photo,
ankles.
man. That's pretty scary right there. You know, I mean,
Next
you look
time.
handsome and everything, but this
Thank
is
you.
like a Rambo kind of.
You know.
Be curious.